Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Techno Sense. My name is Glenn.
My name is Aiden.
And we're here to talk to you about a couple of different things today. We got the Samsung Note 9, AMD Threadripper, Google Back to School Sale, Fortnite, Galaxy Skin, Oculus Rift stuff. Yeah. I'd like to thank Wildloop Media for giving us the space and wonderful equipment to do this and all work and everything like that. So that's good. And if you want anything streamed or I should say live streamed or anything like that, give us a contact. Wildloopin.ca should be, or is it? It's right about there, right down there. Go to that site. We do just about everything. So, yeah. Did you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
I'll go first.
You've got a hearty, large pile of topics.
I got a large pile of topics. Well, a lot happened in the last couple of weeks. You know.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of different stuff happen. Like Samsung Note 9 was released. I'm not sure if you heard about that.
I did not hear about
the new Samsung phone. So what Samsung usually does is they kind of launch their standard phones, like their Galaxy S series first, and then they go and release the Note series about halfway through. So they have they have a new phone release usually about every half year. So they have them actually quite common. So the Galaxy Note 9 came out. And there's actually a couple of different things going on here with the new phone. So it did start shipping in Europe yesterday. And I don't know about the article I was looking at didn't actually show it for around here, but it did start shipping in Europe yesterday. So I think you can already start to pre-order it. At least around here. As far as I know. It is actually I'm just trying to get on the chat here. So actually, so in Europe, it does look like it's about 899 pounds, and I don't mean like that's not the weight. I mean like that's the whole price, in British.
Oh really? I thought this phone was 900 pounds.
No. If it was that, I don't think anybody would buy it. The 512 gigabyte variant is going to be shipping around September 7th. Okay. So it's going to be roughly when that starts happening. It does actually have water carbon cooling.
Water carbon cooling.
Yeah, so I have no idea what the carbon is for, but I believe the water is actually it's actually like an enclosed tubular system that's inside the phone, and that actually basically displaces the heat throughout the whole body of the phone. So because instead of like having like one area that's super hot, you actually have the whole phone that's actually
super hot.
Well, super hot. Well, I wouldn't say super hot, but it's more cool. There's more dissipation. Yeah. So that's usually how they work on CPU coolers, is that they have the heat pipes that come up from the CPU block and then heat the fins to dissipate it. So that's kind of what they're doing with that. I don't know what the carbon is for. They don't say it in this.
If I had to make a guess, you don't use pure water when you're doing. Usually use like a mineral oil when you're doing a liquid.
That's true too.
Right?
But I don't...
So it might just be something to make the water non-conductive. Just add a bit of carbon in there.
Well, usually it's a mineral oil sort of thing. It's not actual water, but
it might be some secret thing they've brewed up by putting charcoal. I don't know anything about it.
Could be something to do with carbon, but carbon's also it's also conductive.
Is carbon conductive?
Carbon's very conductive.
Right.
One of the most conductive substances on the planet, actually.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so... And I don't mean, like, take a chunk of charcoal and shove it in your computer. I mean, like, carbon nanotubes and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, carbon tubing and stuff.
So because it's carbon cooled, it can actually run faster for longer periods. And the reason why they almost have this is because there's a lot of phones coming out now for gaming. A lot of gaming phones out there. So because of that, they're having to cool them at a much faster rate. So we'll get into the whole gaming thing a little bit later too, because I want to discuss Fortnite. Okay. You can actually buy different S Pens for it now, which are Bluetooth.
So they're like a Bluetooth stylus you can use on the phone?
Yeah, exactly.
So I have a Bluetooth stylus I use at home for my iPad. I bought it separately. Do you know if these have like pressure sensitivity? Or...
They are pressure sensitive, yeah,
wow.
Or at least I think the screen is. I think it works with the screen and the pen, and they work kind of both together for pressure sensitivity.
Okay.
But they are Bluetooth, and you can actually order different colors in them. so you can have your own custom stylus, which is pretty cool.
That's neat.
And it has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, which is much bigger than the Samsung S9s.
Okay.
Because mine's a 3,500.
And it makes sense that if you're going to have a computer a phone that's going to be water cooled and it's probably going to be running high CPU games, you're going to need that extra power.
You are, yeah, of course. There's a lot of news that has been posted on this site here. They're saying that that's the plans. They're discussing the plans around there. But they're saying it's going to be £899 SIM-free. So it's probably going to cost, if you want to buy it outright here, it's probably going to cost about $1,200. So it's going to be about like an iPhone X. Which is, in my opinion, insane.
Yep. So I just did a quick conversion here from pounds to Canadian. 1,500 would be the cost.
1,500. Okay, sorry. That's even worse.
I bought my new computer for $1,592.
Yeah.
And that's before tax, and you're probably gonna have to ship it as well.
Yeah. That's a lot of money towards a phone that.
Although in their defense, a pressure sensitive stylus, those can go for like $250. So
and again, they're customized and they're Bluetooth.
Bluetooth. So you can see that you're paying a lot, but you are getting some tech that justifies that price.
Yeah. And I believe the screen is a 6.5 inch. It doesn't say in this article.
I would hope it's a big screen if you're having a stylus, because like Apple Watch with the stylus.
Yeah, that would make a whole lot of sense, Yeah, for sure. So honestly, like going back, like the Note series was always their flagship phone,
right?
But it was never the one that, at least in my experience, it was never the one that was commonplace. So it's almost like owning like a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
You can get parts for it anywhere.
Yeah.
Versus owning an exotic car where there's no parts for it, and then if it's not supported that well, you're not going to get a lot of support for it anyway.
Yeah, you can't take your Lamborghini into the local.
Exactly.
Wherever.
Well, you could, but they'll look at you funny and tell you to get out.
You could, but you shouldn't.
You don't really want to.
No.
But yeah, that's the kind of thing. So, like the people who buy the Note series, like I don't blame you. I had a Note for years and it was wonderful. It was one of my favorite phones. I would say go for it, but I hope it's a little cheaper than $1,500, to be honest with you.
Yeah, what I would do is I would wait until prices drop a bit, because $1,500 is not a sustainable price for a phone, in my opinion. I'm not sure how...
Well, people really complain about the iPhone X.
Yeah.
And how it was so expensive. But some people did go out and buy them.
Some people did.
I don't know why.
Other people did not.
I will not start to rant on Apple.
No.
Anyway, go ahead. Did you want to do another?
Why don't we go through some of yours and just rant?
Sure.
We're on a good roll here.
Okay, so kind of on the whole. We'll do it by order. Anyway. So the next one I have here is Threadripper 2.
Ooh.
And I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit when I started making this the doc and started getting all my topics together was a couple of weeks ago, and by then we had some different stuff going on. So between a couple of weeks ago and now, there's a lot of things happening as far as Threadripper goes and as far as CPUs go, and I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. Right now, as far as I can tell, the sources that I have looked into is that Intel is going to be losing the CPU market.
Really?
For the next about 4 years or so. No, that could not happen. That might not happen. But basically, what's happening is that Ryzen Threadripper is where did my notes go? It's a 32 core CPU that boosts up to 4.2 gigahertz.
All right.
Which is insane.
Wait, how many gigahertz?
4.2.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, that's insanely high for especially a 32 core CPU.
So just for context on computer cores and stuff, because I've been working with a number of different computers in the library. So we have the older computers like the Intel Pentium. I think that's like 2.0 gigahertz.
Yeah.
And I just recently got a new computer for myself that's 3.6 gigahertz, and that's another Intel.
Yeah.
I don't think 4.0 is one of those things that I haven't seen in person.
That's a 4.2 gigahertz boost.
It's a
so
boost.
that's when it's boosting up to that. Now
Okay.
it won't stay at that, but that just means that it can be clocked to that.
But still, that's
still insane. I know my CPU that I have, I can get up to 4.2.
Yep.
But Windows doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I get a lot of stuttering and everything like that. So I can get it to 4.1 or so with it being stable. But 4.2, confirmed boost is insane. Like that, especially with 32 cores.
Oh yeah.
Like that's a whole whack of cores. And the reason why a lot of places are going with so many cores now is because of AI work to start with. Workstations are heavily dependent on cores, like things that use like Adobe Premiere and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual workstation applications use a heck of a lot of cores. So having 32 cores is a huge benefit, especially when it boosts up to 4.2.
Absolutely.
Like that's crazy. Now, these aren't cheap by any means.
Oh,
these
God.
are, I believe, $1,200 or more.
Buy the new Galaxy Note for that much.
Yeah, you can actually buy. It's either a phone or a CPU, basically.
Yeah.
So the WX series, they're saying it's going to be from $1,299 with 24 cores. $1,200 with 24 cores. But the highest one, which is the 2990WX, that's the naming. Wonderful naming.
That's the serial number.
Is 32 cores, and it's $1,700. So $200 more, you get the best CPU in the world. I shouldn't say in the world, but so the reason why I was saying that Intel isn't going to be ahead in the CPU business for a while is because they're actually still working with 14 nanometer chipsets. And going into layman terms is that Intel CPUs are like this big, when AMD CPUs are this big. And when you're able to fit, and when the sockets, like when you actually put the CPU on the board, are the same size as the Intel ones, you can actually scale these guys up and put more stuff in them for AMD. If that makes any sense. I hope that makes sense.
I think so.
So basically, AMD is able to get a lot more stuff packed into the same size as Intel. So there's more cores, there's higher clock rates, everything like that. And because Intel is still working with 14 nanometer, they're going to be until they can fix that. Because right now, like I have an AMD CPU and I love it. It is amazing. It's not even the highest one. It's actually a year old and it's not even the highest one. It can still do anything I need it to. But it's getting to that point where Intel's gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
To bring it back, especially in the server market too, because with this 32 core CPU, that's a workstation server chipset.
Yeah.
And Epic, it's even one step above. I think might be 64 cores or something like that. The processor is actually like that big. It's huge.
Wow.
But it's actually like 4 CPUs glued together. That's actually the term they use too with glue.
You just get a bit hot glue in there.
Yeah, well, not really.
I mean, that's the product design to it.
But it's very interesting to see how AMD is now coming back.
Yeah.
Like, because years ago they were...
I mean, Intel, like, even when I was looking at PCs for myself, like a few months ago, everyone's like, you want to go Intel, AMD is kind of okay, but Intel is the people to go with. So if they're making this much progress, and we're already seeing a flip around of what to recommend, I mean, it's pretty spectacular.
Yeah. And again, this might flip around next couple of years anyway with, if Intel brings up their new series and stuff like that, so...
Yep.
But Intel's feeling a lot of pressure from AMD right now.
Yeah.
Which is good. Competition's good.
Yep.
Lower prices, better quality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$17.99 being good prices.
Well, if you wanted to, put this in perspective.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to buy a Xeon processor from Intel that had 32 cores, that would be well in like $5,000.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Like that's one of their top of the line Xeon CPUs, and I probably wouldn't even boost up to 4.2. I'd probably stick around 2.6.
Wow.
So it's AMD just kind of took that Xeon and stomped on it and said, "This is my land." So good job, AMD.
Great job, AMD.
So we'll talk about You're really.
I'm really eager.
He's really excited.
I'm up.
He's excited.
I had a lot of fun this week. So Thursday, I ordered a Oculus. Well, I didn't order it on Thursday, but it arrived on Thursday. I got my Oculus Rift. I believe it's the CV1 consumer version. It comes with the Oculus Touch controllers. I've been playing around with it. I've been doing some testing. I found out what games are good, what games aren't good, what works well, and what doesn't in the VR environment. And I want to start off by saying that I have some videos here that I'm going to show of some gameplay. They're just about 30 seconds long, nothing spectacular. But they really don't do it justice because when you're wearing the headset, you're in the game. Like, it isn't like when you go to a 3D movie and like an effect reaches out at you. You get confused between reality and the virtual reality.
That's almost scary.
Yeah. Well, not really. So the first game that I've been playing is probably my favorite so far, and it's a game called Beat Saber. And the basic premise of it is it's a sort of rhythm game where you have lightsabers, and you're trying to slash blocks in the direction they show. And there's a few preloaded songs, but you can get your own custom songs off the website. So I've got, like, Through the Fire and the Flames, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins. And it's a lot of fun. So we're seeing some gameplay here, but when you're in there doing the workout, swinging around, you work up a sweat. And it's honestly probably my favorite game of the year so far.
That's brilliant.
I really enjoyed it.
And it's all to the beat. It's almost like tap tap.
Yeah, so it's all to the beat where you're sort of going like that with like Guitar Hero. So the other game that I've been playing a little bit is a game that wasn't originally designed for, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, is Super Hot, which is a really cool sort of Matrix-style game where time only moves when you move. So you can do these cool, like, Matrix-style dodging bullets. Like, here's a guy dodging a bullet right now.
Whoa.
But I've been playing it, like, obviously this is very fast-paced because it's the trailer for the game, but I've been treating it like I'll put relaxation music on because you're bending into, like, yoga poses and stuff, essentially.
Interesting.
And it's a really great use of the technology, and it's one of my favorite games I've played so far on the Rift.
That's brilliant. I like how they took the game and actually made it into a VR game because I've watched people play it before.
Yeah.
And it actually looks like it was almost made to be a VR game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Honestly, a lot of the really good games for the Rift right now are just adaptations of existing games.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So speaking of existing games that have been ported to a new console, this is a game that I just got last night. I played a little bit of it this morning. It's a little thing called Skyrim. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's made by a small indie company called Bethesda.
They're not indie.
They're not indie. Bethesda, it's a joke. They've released Skyrim on like every device possible.
Including the Amazon Echo, apparently.
Anyway, it's a completely different experience in virtual reality, where you're holding the things, you're moving around. I got to a point so far, just in the beginning, where a dragon attacks a village, and I found myself sort of ducking and hiding as this dragon was doing swoops overhead, and it was fantastic. Like,
That's awesome.
You really gotta see it to believe it. Now, the only downside is its cost. Now, I've played Skyrim before. I played Skyrim Legendary Edition. This was my third time purchasing Skyrim. And the VR version costs $79.99.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Now, I got it on sale. I got it half off. And I think it was worth the price I paid for it. But it's a fantastic game. I mean, we've all played Skyrim before.
I've played Skyrim.
If you have a computer, you've played Skyrim. It came out in April, I think. Jeez,
it was a few years ago. I want to say 2014.
2014 was when the original Skyrim came out.
I think. Is that right? Or
according to Glenn. Glenn says it came out in 2014.
Don't quote me on anything.
Glenn is golden. Do not look it up, Glenn. It's on the internet. 2014 was when Skyrim was released.
Hold on. Where's Skyrim? I'm trying to use a new keyboard and I'm not. When was it released?
This is a very important piece of information. I think 2014. No,
it wasn't.
It was earlier than that.
It was released. The original release date for
2008?
PS3, Windows, Xbox 360 was November 11th, 2011.
2011.
So it's 7 years old.
Because I remember being in middle school when the Skyrim came out and being like, geez, this game looks fun, but it's medieval and I don't have a computer.
Yeah, I don't have anything that can play it. Yeah.
It's a great game, and it's got modding support as well.
Oh yeah, the mods are the best part. Having Thomas the Tank Engine surprise attack you.
So what Glenn is referencing is there's a very famous mod for Skyrim. Skyrim is probably the most modded game in the world because it's been out for so long.
That and
it's such a great game. There's a mod that exists where you replace all of the dragons in the game with 3D rendered models of like Thomas the Tank Engine and stuff. And it's a bit of a laugh, but it's also terrifying because you get these blank faces sort of breathing fire at you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic.
Brilliant.
So Glenn, you've been doing some gaming lately.
Yeah. So I guess I heard that. So the last week or so, I haven't been feeling too good. I had some job problems and been trying to fix it. But anyway, so last week or so, I've been really playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, because it's a very fun game. I played a lot of the Division 2 and I found it quite interesting. But I honestly think that Ghost Recon Wildlands is even better than the Division, simply because it's like an open world. You can go really anywhere you want. It's you do what you want to do kind of thing. So I went and beat the campaign.
Yep.
And after you beat the campaign, there's not too much else you can do, except for ghost mode, which is kind of like another version of the campaign. But if you die, you lose all your progress. And I died without any, like, the game actually went and killed me without actually me, like, under circumstances of dying. Like, I was in a vehicle, I was being shot at, and I got out of the vehicle, and I just instantly died, and I lost all my progress. Like, I should have been able to get revived or something like that, but anyway, it was a pain, but I'm thinking I'm moving on now. I think I've played the whole campaign, and now I'm kind of tooling my thumbs, so.
You've got your money's worth out of the game.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. I would recommend it, just for the graphics.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if anybody has, like, a good beefy system, for sure, I would definitely recommend it to anybody who wants to have it for the graphics.
You got beef, get the ghost.
Yeah.
That's the tagline, I swear to God. If you have the beef, get the ghost.
Get the ghost, okay.
Recon Wildlands.
Interesting, I never heard of that.
Yeah, I made it up.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I had to go in there for a minute.
There's a couple of campaign levels. I don't want to give them away, but they have some interesting figures that come in through the gameplay. One level, I was talking to my dad about, and he was watching me play it, and I was kind of going through the jungle.
All right.
And there was some weird green glowing liquid on a plant, and one of the characters said, "Well, if it can bleed, we can kill it." And then, well,
Slimer from Ghostbusters comes around the corner.
No, but if you can put together those pieces, you know what's coming up. But if you can't, well, go watch Predator and then come back and watch this video.
That sounds cool.
Spoiler alert. Anyway, yeah, I killed him.
Oh.
And it was hard.
You killed him.
I killed him.
You killed a man.
No, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
The Predator?
I killed the Predator. Yeah, I killed the Predator. Anyway, spoiler alerts.
That's the guy that has the mouth like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You've seen Predator, right?
I've seen Predator. I saw Alien for the first time a couple weeks ago. And I saw Matrix for the first time a week ago.
Have you seen all three of them now?
I saw one Matrix.
Okay, we gotta pack up the show. we got some stuff to do.
I'm a bit behind on my classic.
What about you, other than your VR stuff? Like, have you been doing any other games on your new system?
Any other games on my new system? No. Most of what I've been doing. No.
In VR.
No. I have been fiddling around with settings on my computer a bit though, because
settings.
As anyone who's got a new computer knows, when you first get it and you install it, there are some hiccups when you install new software.
There's some hiccups when you install Windows.
Yeah. So most notably, setting up the Rift was an experience and a half. Well, I say setting up the Rift. Setting up the Rift itself was exceptionally easy. I just had to plug in the cables in the right ports. That was easy. Finding the ports was not a fun time.
Should we talk about? I think we almost have to do a video of basic how to computer.
How to set up a computer.
Or just how to computer, and kind of go through all the parts.
I'm a computer guy. I should have known better. So the long and short of it is, apparently when you buy a computer, they have little dust plugs, so that when you send it in shipment, dust doesn't get in and ruin your display ports.
I keep all mine in so the dust doesn't get in there anyway.
Okay.
But,
I didn't know that. I had never bought a computer and had to pull those plugs out. So I sit down and I go, oh my god, I don't have the display port I need to get my monitor and my fancy new toy.
Wait, you have a monitor that has a display port?
A I say DisplayPort, I meant
okay.
HDMI.
'Cause
It's the cable from the monitor to the computer. I was freaking out, so I went out, got a new cable, came back, cable didn't work. I was like, oh no, I think my computer's busted. Pulled out one of the things by accident, returned the $40 cable. It was an experience and a half. But honestly, the setup for the Rift is exceptionally easy. You have to download the correct drivers for your computer, and those will be around 4 gigabytes of download, so I set it up over the night, no problem. But then you have to do placement of the sensors and stuff. So I've made a rough diagram here on my computer of how I have my Rift set up.
Rough.
This is rough. I'm not an artist by any means. So you can see this little ball in the top left is one of the sensors. I've got my monitor, that's the long gray thing, and this other little ball here is my other sensor. So I have my desk with my 2 sensors on it facing outwards.
So they're just kind of like on either side of the monitor.
Yep, so you can see they sort of crisscross across there to create that little good area where you can use your Oculus with your 2 controllers, by the way, which you use to maneuver around in the game and stuff. So I don't have a big room, so my room is about yay big, if I had to guess. You can go in those little corner areas.
So your monitor's outside of your room?
So my monitor is out, so I don't accidentally, like, punch it. Well, I mean, so I have a space cleared that I can walk around without bumping into my desk or anything, right?
I see what you mean.
So the great thing is, the Rift was originally shipped with only 1 sensor. So with 2 sensors now, you can sort of go in and out and not worry about losing tracking. However, if I'm standing there and I turn around, all of a sudden, I've got this sort of dead zone right behind me here.
Oh, okay, I see.
So Oculus doesn't officially go out and say you need to buy a 3rd sensor, but anyone you ask that's going to do room scale stuff will say you need a 3rd sensor.
Now, where would you put the 3rd sensor in this circumstance?
The 3rd sensor in this circumstance would probably go either right behind you, in a corner here. The idea being you want to get that blind spot taken care of. I would recommend putting it in the corner so you have like that view from one side.
Right. I was thinking if you put it in the corner, you might still have a blind spot on one of the sides too.
What's cool about the headset though, and it's usually only controllers that lose tracking, is you've got trackers on the front, and you've got a little thing at the base of the head that tracks as well, so you can turn around no problem.
Interesting.
That being said, I only played one game that I had problems with tracking with only 2 sensors, and that was a game called Cave Digger, where you're sort of mining around in like a little mining elevator. But when you lose tracking, you lose tracking. Like I'm fairly good with 3D games. I don't get sick very often from them.
Well, that's good. Some people do.
But the problem with losing tracking is you bend over and all of a sudden your face is up against the floor, and then you're up, and you're down, you're turned around, and you take a moment to sort of adjust to your 3D space, and you're like, oh god, you get motion sick. Like, you can't help it. So I uninstalled that game, and maybe I might get another sensor.
How much do the sensors usually cost individually?
$79 Canadian.
It's a little,
But the good news is,
pricey.
You don't need the 3rd sensor.
That's true too, yeah.
So it's just... And I have a small space as well up in my room. If I had a big area where I could, like, walk around, like, I would get a 3rd sensor. But I don't, so I won't.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. I don't think I have anything else to talk about.
How many viewers do we have at the moment?
1. So, I think we're just gonna continue with topics.
Continue with topics?
Yeah.
All right.
I got a couple more, so.
Lay it on me, Glenn.
All right. So, the Google does have a back to school sale, which is pretty cool. So, if you're looking for a new phone or new gadgets for back to school, the only thing though is that I might not still be around anymore. This is a couple weeks old, so it might still be there. I don't know. So basically the whole sale is the Google Pixel 2 XL is down $200 from. I don't have the original pricing, but it's now $959. I believe these are USD. No, these are Canadian prices. Sorry. So $959 right now for the 64 gig, and for the 128 gig you got $1,089. So they're both $200 off, and the Pixel Buds are down $60 to $159, from $2 something or other. So, and to be honest with you, like ever since the Apple AirPods came out. You know those. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Can I talk about AirPods for a second?
Can we rant about AirPods? Can we have the full screen of us so we can rant about AirPods?
I want to pull up a photo of AirPods.
There we go. Thank you. Oh, I'm in the bottom corner still. There's 2 of me. There's 2 of me.
I'm gonna pull up a photo of AirPods just in case someone out there doesn't know what the AirPods are.
Yeah, the ones in the case. Yeah, get those ones.
This is a good photo up here. Oh, it's got the price listed as well. That's fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a guy wearing them too.
It's a short little video. This is a great one.
So the AirPods look okay. They look like
No, they don't look okay. Look at that. You're getting 2 nubs in your ear. I see people walking down the street with these things on, and I think, look at that. We've got little Elkie or McGee going down. It's not aesthetically pleasing.
They're actually a lot cheaper than I thought they were. I suppose that might be USD though.
That's MSRP.
USD, yeah.
$159 US.
They're about the same price right now.
They're stupid looking.
Yeah, they are ridiculous.
Like, look at this guy. Like, oh, look at me.
Once you put them in your, like, they look really cool when you like take them out of the case. Once you put them in your ear, they look ridiculous.
Look at this guy. Like, no offense to this guy. I mean, he wears it well, but
no,
the AirPods.
All offense to that guy.
It's like you've got a bent Q-tip in your ear for crying out.
They look weird. So the Pixel Buds are more of like a conventional looking headphone.
Okay.
They almost take up like a lot of your ear. They actually look like a set of headphones rather than someone going around with a Q-tip sticking out of their ear. And they're also wireless. The feature of them when they were first brought out was
I hate these so much.
The feature of these when they were brought out was the Google Translate.
So happy. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. He's so happy to have them in. He's like,
let me contact my homeworld.
Okay. I can't watch this. Can we get it off the screen, please? AirPods.
Yeah, they're ridiculous. So anyway, Google came up with. I was going to pick them up here. Oh, my keyboard just died again.
It's like just having a little.
Yeah, there goes my keyboard. Okay, hold on. I got a backup keyboard. Bear with me.
This model is so pleased with himself.
Yeah. Well, he's being paid for it. But you'd be
I mean, if you're charging $150 for a pair of these headphones, you'd be pretty happy as well.
So those ones are. Oh, my mouse died too.
Just having a sleep.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, and that's another thing. Is that
yeah? You keep talking. Hold on.
So this is a good comparison right here of the old earbuds and the new ones.
Wait, there's. Oh, okay. I see
so it's like the old, everyone's seen the classic Apple earphones, whatever. They have the cable. They sell a cable that goes with them, so they don't lose the bloody things.
No, they don't.
They do sell. They sell an optional cable with a magnet that clips on the end.
Really?
So it's like a loop that hangs below your head.
They don't sell with it though. You can get those at the Apple Store. I don't think they sell them.
You have to buy it separately.
Yeah.
And there's a carrying case.
Can you just search up Pixel Buds? My stuff's
Pixel Buds?
Yeah.
Sure. Pixel Buds.
I thought it'd be really smart and have a.
Don't buy the Pixel Buds. It's the first thing that comes
up. It's Linus, isn't it?
I think it is
Linus. Yeah. So those look really cool. Get one with some guy. Yeah.
This guy doesn't look quite as happy.
So they look like they look like sport headphones.
Yeah.
And they were more or less designed like the whole big feature of them was Google Translate. So you could actually listen to, you could actually have your phone out and the person talking into it, and it would supposedly be very fast and translate it right to you, and then you could talk to it and the phone would translate to them. So it'd be like almost like a universal translator from Star Trek. But it was slow and bulky and didn't work and didn't translate properly, and it was. I wouldn't say a waste of time, but it was a great idea, just not very well executed.
It's a novel idea, like that idea of like an in-ear translator. That's science.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would definitely appreciate that, especially if I was.
If it had worked, it would have been really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't work, so it's not cool.
So it's not cool. Yeah. It didn't work well. It worked somewhat. Yeah. But those are the Pixel Buds.
Do you know how much they sold for in price?
They originally came out when they were like $2. They were about the same price as Apple AirPods.
About about
the same price. And apparently they worked really good with the Pixel series, the Pixel 2 XL, or the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL. They worked really well with.
Those were phones, right? The Pixel?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So they had the Pixel phones, they had the Pixel Buds, and they had the Pixel Book, which is a laptop.
Yes.
Chromebook.
And my stylus is an Adonai Pixel, so.
Yeah. Pixel.
My screen has pixels on it.
Everything has.
Pixels is a movie with Adam Sandler. I find the word pixel
terrible movie with Adam Sandler.
I think
Anyway.
just to go off topic for a sec here, the word pixel is just being thrown
mashed
on.
everywhere.
It's just being thrown. There's no pixels in those earbuds. There's no display with pixels. Why are they called pixel buds?
That's because I think Google wants to make them pixel stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't like when companies use tech words as buds.
Threadripper. and Epic. And Ryzen, where are those from?
Ryzen's the name of the company, isn't it?
No, it's AMD Ryzen. That's a series of CPUs. They had AMD FX, which is their previous versions.
All right.
And now you have AMD Ryzen, or Zen. And it's built off of the Zen architecture.
I did not. I honestly thought it was AMD was like the head company. Ryzen was the sub company.
No. No.
I'm a computer guy. I should know this.
It's alright that it was. I don't know either. And I'm probably getting it wrong. And anyway. What was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. So we got that. I'm just going to jump right into the Fortnite skin, too.
Yeah, Glenn, you teased Fortnite at the beginning of this episode.
I did. So, I don't play a lot of Fortnite.
You told me at the beginning of the show, you're like, I've been playing Fortnite recently.
I said I've been playing Fortnite recently. I didn't say I was playing a lot of Fortnite.
Okay.
I play a little bit of Fortnite on my phone because I like to try to get into it, but it's hard because it's on the phone. And anyway, so if you actually go out and buy the Samsung Note 9 or the Tab, the Tab S4, which is they're both more expensive devices.
Yeah.
You get the Fortnite Galaxy skin, which looks like this. This is what it right there. That's what it looks like, and it's only available to the Tab S4 and the Note 9 users, and you might be able to buy it like later on if you really want. If you have a Samsung phone, I tried to find it on my phone, didn't find it. I have a Samsung that couldn't find it.
So Galaxy Note 9, we talked about that earlier in the show, right? That's the $1,500 phone.
Yeah, the liquid-cooled $1,500 phone, yeah.
I don't like this for the sole reason that there's going to be some kid out there, and I say kid because it's going to be a kid, right? That's going to say, I want this skin. And they're going to go to their parents. They're going to say, Mama, please buy me a phone. I need the Galaxy Note 9. Because they want the Fortnite skin.
You know, I hate to say you're right, but I know you're right too.
There's going to be someone...
It's going to be someone, yeah.
Whose reason for buying the phone is a Fortnite skin.
Yeah. And right now, you can only get Fortnite on mobile for Samsung phones.
Well, it's on like Apple phones.
Well, it's on Apple phones, but right now,
The only
now
Android
on
phones
Android.
you get them on are Samsung, right?
Yeah, it's on Samsung only right now for Android.
And it's not that stellar of a mobile game.
Well, it's a mobile game. It's not stellar.
Yeah.
I don't like... I've tried to get into it. I've tried to play it. But every time I go into it, it's just hard to control because it's just your two thumbs. That's all you get.
I can't get into it. I looked at it and I thought, that's not for me.
Yeah. Now, I know people who go in there and hook up a keyboard and mouse to their phone and somehow do some weird mapping or some weird thing. Anyway, they're able to get it work with keyboard and mouse. But even then, it's really sketchy, and then it's like, well, what's the point?
But that's not mobile gaming.
No, it's not.
Like, use a laptop. Like, don't... Yeah, I got my phone here. Glenn, can I borrow your keyboard? I want to play Fortnite.
No.
I keep a keyboard mouse on me at all times because I want to play Fortnite.
Yeah.
I paid $1,500 for a Fortnite skin. I could have bought a laptop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's...
I bought a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, that's right, too. You could buy a pretty decent laptop
You
for
could buy
$1,500.
a stellar laptop that would outperform that phone entirely.
Probably with a 1050 Ti in it.
It would be way more transportable than your phone with a separate keyboard and mouse because you bought a phone to play Fortnite on.
But hey, if you want the skin...
If you want the skin...
if you want to pay
listen, if you want to play Fortnite, that's your business. If you want to pay $1,500 so you can get a cool-looking skin in Fortnite, that's your business.
We have to close the
I'm just saying that it's a bad business to be in.
Oh my god. Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like, I play both PUBG and Fortnite.
Okay.
And out of the two of them, I really have no... Oh, I forgot to post this one. Hold on. Ooh, there. Come on. Oh, my keyboard stopped working. Anyway, but between the two, they're both, like, so close and similar except Fortnite you have to like go and buy stuff for.
Yeah.
And the other one you don't really have to, but yet you're still stuck with nothing. And I don't know. It's just, if you want to play one without having to spend money, go play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because it's free. And PUBG, it's basically the same thing, but you have to pay for it, and you get basically the same thing. More realistic. But
I don't know. Fortnite's very popular. I have a lot of young children playing Fortnite in the library.
The young kids who whoop your...
I think the majority of the Fortnite audience is young children.
Yeah.
And that's not...
Well, it's more comically...
That's not, like, if you're an adult, I mean, that's fine if you play Fortnite. I understand the appeal, but, like, from my experience, the majority is young children. They're not going to buy a $1,500 phone, and they might get their parents too, but...
With the Apple AirPods and
they're going to go out with their Apple AirPods.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun.
Man. It strikes me odd that they're doing that style of promotion, like... I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember when PUBG came out for mobile, and that was on any device.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortnite, you have to wait for it. That's the one thing I don't like about Android, is having to wait for stuff.
Yeah.
Like updates and stuff like that. It's a real pain. Anyway, I'm ranting too much now.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna talk about Steam Play.
Steam Play. Ooh.
I don't have a link for this because I didn't search it.
So,
but...
Glenn, I know almost nothing about Steam Play. Explain to me, like I am a young Fortnite player, what Steam Play means for me.
So I got one question for you.
Yes.
Now that you have a Windows machine.
Yes.
How do you like Windows?
Windows 10 is a burden to society.
Okay.
I plugged it in, I got it booted up, it said, would you like to install an update?
Right off the bat.
Being the nice fellow I am, I said, why yes, Windows, I would like to make sure my PC is up to date. I like my security settings and my privacy settings to be at the utmost they could be.
I should turn this all off.
I downloaded a 12 gigabyte download. It took me, on my internet, 7 hours. Computer restarted. Went to log into my account. Your user profile has been corrupted. Had to do troubleshooting there. Ended up I had to uninstall the Windows update. And even then I get weird errors in Windows. Every day is a new adventure for me with this computer. It's nothing breaking. My computer works fine, but there's something little I'm discovering each time. Like,
oh god.
You unplugged your monitor? You have to reset your computer because we don't like you having a Rift and a monitor plugged in. But if you unplug one but not the other, it doesn't... So, Windows 10 is terrible.
So now that we got that out of the way,
sorry.
No, it's all right.
This is like therapy for me, just unloading all my problems.
So Windows, as many people know that use Windows on a regular basis, well, I should say Windows 10 specifically, know that Windows 10 is a hot pile of trash.
Mm-hmm.
It is glitchy, buggy, does not work. When it does work, it doesn't work perfectly. It is god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
So, going into that, Steam, or Valve, I should say, is working on a side project rather than working on Half-Life 3. They decided to work on Steam Play, which is I was talking to you about this before, but Wine is a not like the drink. I mean like Wine as in the emulator. Is a Linux or is a Windows kernel that runs on top of your operating system. So basically, it's like this section. It's almost like a virtual machine that runs on top of your current operating system. So you can, I believe, you can get this for Mac as well.
Yes. So I remember, not to interrupt you, when I was a young lad with my mum's Macintosh PC, I wanted to play Minecraft, and this was before Minecraft had come out on the Mac PC. So I remember I downloaded Wine because Wine is marketed as a way of playing Windows executable files on like a Macintosh or Linux PC.
With fairly close accuracy too. It runs fairly well as far as I know.
So from what it sounds to me like Steam Play is a standalone sort of thing that you go and sort of installs like an app on Linux so that you can play your Windows games that aren't Linux compatible on your Linux machine. So you don't have to deal with Windows 10. Well,
I wouldn't say that. You still have to deal somewhat with Windows, but it's more based upon Linux. So basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of make a custom version of Wine that allows to be run on Linux, but almost as an invisible layer. So basically, you go download a game that's basically for PC, for Windows, and you can run it on Linux flawlessly. Yep. That's what they're trying to accomplish. And as a Windows avid user, because I have to, because games, I would desperately install this in a blink of an eye. Yeah. I would wipe my hard drive, after backing up, of course. Yeah. Wiping the hard drive, installing Ubuntu, and running this thing, because it's because having it being able to run on top of Linux, it's perfect. Yeah. Because Linux itself is pretty complex. I wouldn't advise an average user to go and install Linux, of course. Windows would probably be good for you. But if you're installing, if you're an Android developer or whatever, some sort of developer, you're probably going to be running Linux anyway. So having, a system being able to run Linux very well, and then running Wine on top of that, for your games and whatnot, that's perfect. And I believe because of that, Microsoft is going to start to feel the push. Like, even if this is like a, I don't know, like say like a $20 add-on you have to buy, it would be worth it. Yeah, it won't be because it's open source. At least I hope not. But
open source programs are great. I love them to bits.
That's why Linux exists, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all open source.
I really think they missed an opportunity because they're running it off of Wine. Why didn't they call it, instead of Scene Play, like Chardon Play, like Chardonnay, like the wine?
Ooh, funny.
I thought it would have been like...
Oh, wow. Here, I do have some news on it. So as of 2 days ago, August 23rd, Steam Play Beta for Linux was released. So you can actually use it right now if you have Linux, apparently. It supports Direct 3D. Oh, it supports Vulkan. Supports OpenVR and Steamworks. Native API bridges. Many Wine D3D performance. Okay, I don't know what most of these are. But a lot of it's starting to come out. So, like, I think with, like, NVIDIA drivers and whatnot for gaming GPUs, I'd honestly say that this would be pretty cool.
I'm just skimming through a Reddit post right now of different comments about this announcement. There's a lot of stuff saying that this is great for AMD as well.
Yes. Well, AMD also doesn't really like Windows. Because a lot of the drivers aren't the best. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough running AMD on Windows too. So, but the one thing I love about Linux is that there's no drivers you have to install. Well, there's some drivers, of course, you have to install, like NVIDIA drivers and whatnot. But like, say, like for like a 5.1 audio surround sound system, there's no drivers for that. It's kind of built in. Like it'll automatically install it for you.
That's great.
It's like, oh, fine.
As someone who spent the past week installing drivers and updates, I can appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm really hoping I might give this a test. I have a spare SSD lying around. I might throw Linux on it and test this. Because if this works, I'm switching to Linux.
Yeah.
Maybe even on this thing too, on the tablet.
Maybe.
Because there is actually Ubuntu Touch now. You can get for tablets, yeah. And phones. If you really want to go down that road.
I broke a Ubuntu PC at work because I didn't understand Linux. I say broke. It was broken, and I didn't make it better.
Talking about Linux, because we only got a few minutes left, talking about Linux, my first experience with Linux was, my friend told me about it. I installed it, and then he was telling me stuff about it, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And I'm not sure if you know about desktop environments or not.
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. So, like, a desktop environment is kind of like your user interface. It's kind of like how you interact with the Linux kernel. So it's like your file explorer and your browser and stuff like that. It's actually what you use to interact with your device. And so I installed Ubuntu, and my friend was like, "Oh, you should really try this desktop environment," which was like a lightweight one. And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I installed it, didn't install it correctly, and bricked the whole thing. And I was like, "Oh, this is brutal." And then I went from Ubuntu to Debian to Arch, back to Debian, to, I think I even tried Fedora, Solus OS, I've been through a huge list of Linux distributions, and honestly, Ubuntu is probably the best. Solus is really great for people. I don't want to like go into almost like a bad, more or less if someone's older and they only really want like Chrome or like Firefox in like their email, Solus is perfect because it locks it down. There's like you can't download too many things for it. You don't have a lot of access to the terminal, and it's actually extremely fast and extremely simplistic. So
and
it's not Windows.
And you say for someone older, no offense, but honestly, I've been doing a lot of work with older people, setting up iPads, setting up computers. And that's all they really want to do. They come in with their devices. They say, it's got all these fancy features. I just want to check emails. I might search up something every now and then, but I don't need to have a $1,500 Fortnite skin installed with my AirPods.
I don't need to play Ghost Recon Wildlands for 5 hours straight. So
it's great that you can do that and lock it down.
Yeah, it's really cool. I wouldn't say lock down. Like, there's just a button you click to install packages onto it. Yeah. But like again, it's all they have an app store, and you just download what you want. Hell, I think you even get Minesweeper for it if you really want to.
Yes.
Minesweeper,
Solitaire. That's really it. I mean, honestly, the computer lab, 90% of its usage is Solitaire. It's that's not a joke.
I know.
I've been playing Solitaire. I like Solitaire now.
No, you should get into Spider Solitaire because that's where the really challenge.
There's different versions of Solitaire.
Yeah, you didn't know about Spider Solitaire?
Spider Solitaire, Microsoft Solitaire Collection, Twin Peaks. I know all these things. I'm the best.
Those who play Spider Solitaire know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere without playing Spider Solitaire.
No.
I was addicted to it.
That's the one thing about Windows 10 that's actually really good, is that the graphics for Solitaire are extraordinary.
Wait, you have Solitaire on your Windows 10 machine?
It comes pre-installed.
Really?
I cannot remove it from my computer.
Wait, really?
I've tried to remove Windows Microsoft Collection from my computer.
I probably just removed it from this.
Can you? See, I uninstall it, and then it appears the next morning.
Yeah, that's the other thing I don't like about Windows. When you want to uninstall something like Cortana, I have tried to disable Cortana and it bricked Windows.
No, she is in there like a tick. You have to do a difficult tick removal on Cortana to get her out of
You have to install Ubuntu to get rid of Cortana. It is, for those who don't know, Cortana is the virtual assistant on Windows 10.
It's like Siri for the iPhone.
Well, it's if Siri was even dumber than she is now.
Yeah.
Nobody uses her. At least, not anybody that I know uses her.
No.
It is the worst assistant possible. And when you search with her, when you actually type in a search query, it comes up with Bing.
Bing. And you can't change that, can you?
No. I've tried.
Because it's a Microsoft-founded thing. Microsoft owns Bing, Microsoft owns Cortana, so of course they're going to force you.
I've gone into the registry to try to remove it and to try to change it to Google, but no. It's hard-coded in.
Just to go against Microsoft again. Man, we're pissing off Apple. We're getting everyone mad at us.
Now, I've made a Hackintosh before.
Yep.
I actually was able to load Hackintosh, or not Hackintosh, but I was able to load Mac OS X onto my old gaming laptop. That was cool. Bricked it 5 minutes in because I installed the wrong drivers, but it worked. It actually booted up, and it had no internet because it didn't have the right drivers or anything like that, but it actually worked, and I was really surprised. And the one thing I wish Apple would do is, hell, even if they sell a copy of Mac OS, to be run on, I don't know, X64 or X32 or whatever, just to have a copy that you can run on a PC, that would be perfect. Because then because a lot of the games are actually also made for Mac. Like it's almost like PC, Mac, Linux.
I'll do the Linux.
It's a little bit of
PC,
Linux.
Mac, a little bit of Linux.
It's a little bit of Linux. So it's mostly PC. Then you have like a little Mac. Then you have even like a smaller bit of Linux. Now, Half-Life 2 on Linux. Half-Life 1 on Linux. Which camera am I looking at?
I'm not sure what sort of face you're just saying.
I'm just.
You're looking at the camera and saying Half-Life 2 for Linux.
It's just brilliant.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant because the way the Half-Life 2 works is that it's not stationary. Like some of these games, like if you like stretch them out like across like a super wide screen, you'll have like some of the ammo or whatever laid down. It stays in the same spot.
Yeah.
With Half-Life 2, it's all aggressive or not aggressive, but it will adapt to whatever screen you want. So I actually when I was using Arch Linux, I went and actually installed it and had it running down in a window about that size down at the bottom corner. And I was playing it and it looked like it was working at the same time.
Sneaky.
Sneaky.
Well, I didn't know that about Half-Life 2.
Oh yeah, Half-Life 2. Well, Half-Life and Half-Life 2 was made for Linux. That was where it was developed on, and then it was ported over to
I forgot about that.
PC, because PC back in the day was Linux.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone who gamed was gaming on Linux.
Yeah.
Unless you wanted Windows, but then you had Cortana. No. Okay. Oh my! Well, I think that's all the time we have for tonight. We ranted quite a bit. We'll just make this.
Didn't do any Jackbox today.
No.
Didn't have the live viewers to do that.
We might. The other thing we probably should look into. We might be changing the time as well because school is starting to come back.
School's starting up.
So it might be we might go once a month or something like that. We'll think about it. We'll have a discussion.
We'll have a discussion.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, you are not involved. You being the viewer, not Brian. Brian's
not involved either.
Brian's not involved either?
No.
We'll have a talk.
I'm kidding.
It's Techno-Elf.
Techno-Elf, yeah.
Techno-Brian.
Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to, again, thank Wildwood Media for giving us the wonderful equipment to host a stream. If you want to stream or have anything videotaped or whatever. I don't know what camera I was looking at. Yeah, it's this camera, okay. If you want anything videotaped or live streamed or anything like that, Wildwood Media is down there. Visit the site. Do pretty awesome stuff. So, and I'd like to thank you, the viewers, for watching this nonsense and subscribing. And yeah.
Thank you, viewer.
Yeah. Next week, again, we'll have to discuss what the timings are and whatnot. So next week we might not be around, but we might. Yeah, we'll probably
keep an eye on Facebook.
Yeah, I'll post something on Facebook.
Yep.
All right, cool. See you later. Bye.